Hello. I don't think I've ever done a solo plea to camera before, but I'm motivated to do one about this topic. Please note, I'm not a representative. I'm just a member of the Free Thought Channel team. I'm acting as an observer of goings on in this case. I was, full disclosure, I was a director of AAI between September 2017 and January 2021. For those who don't know, AAI stands for Atheist Alliance International. You can find their website at atheistalliance.org. So this is my perception of events before, during my tenure on the board, and since. First of all, I want you to know this is not about the sterling work done by the original team many years ago who set up AAI when it was separated from what became Atheist Association of America. Those people are to be greatly admired. They obtained UN and EU recognition status, and they should be honored in the annals of the organization. This issue is about the situation AAI found itself in the summer of 2016, before I was a participant, and what happened afterwards. It may have been later in 2016. I wasn't there. And because I wasn't there, some of this information comes from John Hamill, Gail Miller, and Bill Flavelle. Thanks for that, guys. So in early 2017, allegations have been made about a key person on the board of directors, which subsequently proved to be unfounded. The key person was not even charged, but nevertheless, in the heat of early wokeness, allegations were being taken as convictions by ill-informed witch hunters, and there was a loss of willingness to be associated with the brand AAI. Many directors resigned. Many affiliated organizations allowed their connections to lapse. Hatred spread through social media sites where shock jocks lurk. And most importantly, donations collapsed. The reputation was wrecked. Now, in the range of human social variation, there's always been a few people who have had an agenda of hatred and a desire to beat up opponents. We see it in the stonings that still go on in some countries. But today, they can have a microphone, a camera, and a live stream channel. So, unfortunately, there is a sort of Schadenfreude category on YouTube and Twitter where account holders get their kicks by ruining a reputation. And they attract an audience of like-minded, judgmental conspiracy theorists. But although that is being recognized as a major social problem by many governments, it's a separate issue from the case in point. So here's a policy precedent. In the UK, when an organization like a school or a primary care medical practice is inspected, if it's deemed to be failing, it can be put into special measures. This means that the existing governance is replaced by a temporary administration. It's standard UK practice. Under special measures, as you'd expect from the name, everything changes. The previous regime and its policies are suspended temporarily until things can be allowed to get back to normal. The question is, was AAI in need of special measures? Well, here is some indication of the state that AAI was in. Take a look at this.
So there were some back and forward about this person. Were they going to leave the board? Were they going to stay on? Some people wanted to be the new president and some wanted to have different roles. Different people left for different reasons.
Okay.
So the number of directors did drop, but there wasn't an exodus in the
Ah,
sense that there was
okay. Drop.
a
I'll,
crisis,
I'll accept.
and
I'll, I'll
sorry.
accept. I'll accept numbers drop. If you don't like the word
Sure.
exodus,
So,
I'll accept
so
numbers
Percy,
drop.
the
It's
numbers of directors on the board dropped.
dropped from probably, I don't know, I wasn't there, maybe 13, maybe 15, down to about 4. Now, John tries to justify this in terms of usual churn. Well, of course, an organization does lose 1 or 2 directors every year and appoints some new ones, but not that extent. He's wriggling. Let's go on. I'm going to screen an email that I didn't actually have access to, but John apparently did. And it shows you something else about the state of the organization back then. Take a look at this. You can see that the number of members was lapsing. Junior members had lapsed. Full members had lapsed. 552 lapsed out of the 698 listed. The affiliates, these are atheist organizations around the world. Remember, Atheist International is an organization of organizations. That's how it gets to be recognized by the UN. But look, there was only 6 at that stage. 45 had lapsed, and the rest of them lapsed in the course of the next few months. So that's part of the other problems that it was going through, and this was due to the reputation having been wrecked. Now, that's not a whole story, because outgoings were exceeding income. Remember, the donations had collapsed, and there was an expensive and unsuitable database system, which was costing in the order of $3,600 a year. A resident of India was being paid an annual salary of £6,000, a fortune in that country, to edit the Secular World Journal. Bank charges were exorbitant, and, probably worst of all, the website was a disgrace. It hadn't been updated in about 2 years, didn't work on mobiles, and some of the pages, listen to this, took visitors to porn sites. It was simply shameful for an organization of the nature of AAI. You couldn't direct anyone to it. It would be discourage them from getting involved. So I contend AAI was definitely in need of special measures. To be fair, the previous board, most of whom were gone, remember, recognized some of these problems. Before the collapse, they were motioning to change the database system to a cheaper one, and they wanted to initiate regional directors. That's been done since. Charity, it's all about image, and an image is very easily destroyed. It's less easily repaired. So there was a need for dedicated people to rescue it. New directors were co-opted by the remnants of the previous board. A new website was commissioned. You can still see that. It's atheistalliance.org. The database was migrated to a new, cheaper provider. An economical bank service was obtained. Paid staff were dispensed with. So while these special measures were in operation, unfortunately, democracy had to be put on hold. This was not through any wish to dictate, but it was due to the facts that the affiliates list was depleted, and for a while, emails couldn't be sent out, the database was being migrated, and anyway, few contacts responded, probably due to the wrecked reputation. Naturally, repairing all this took some time and a great deal of effort, but eventually, the crippling outgoings were cut, and AAI could start to operate the board for the benefit of victims of religion once again. And I'm happy to announce that since then, democracy has been restored and AGMs have been held, directors have been voted for, and this year, affiliated organizations, 21 of them, that's a third of those listed, sent delegates to attend the 2022 AGM. Motions were put and the votes were counted. If you want to see the good that AAI has done in the last year, I've got another video for you to take a look at. It's 5 or 7 minutes long, and it's available. I'll put the link in the details below. Sadly, some haters have mischaracterized all this good effort as a takeover by a cabal. My conscience is clear. I acted with the best of intentions, and I am proud of my modest contribution to the resurrection of AAI. But if the public pays attention to these haters, AAI will be in danger of going down the tubes all over again. Who will suffer? The board certainly won't suffer. They don't gain anything being volunteers, so they have nothing to lose. Victims of religious abuse, however, will suffer. Take a look at that linked video to see what good AAI does. Please don't dwell on the past. Please look forward to the future. And please donate to AAI. Thank you.